Good afternoon, class. This is Lucy Diamond, and I will be using the Ellipse as my project for pre-calculus. And what we have on the board right here is a picture I took the other day. It's of the Ford symbol off a Ford truck. And I went ahead and outlined the ellipse. I'll go ahead and outline it in green so you can see the shape that we are going to talk about today. And so that is the outline. And I went ahead and plotted some points for us. So we have the major axis is this line right here, and that's going to be on the longer line. The longer line of the ellipse, and the shorter line of the ellipse, that's going to be the minor axis. And on the minor axis, you're going to find the intercepts. So you'll have two intercepts. You'll have this point right here and this point right here. And on this longer line, which is the major axis, you'll find your vertices. So this will be your vertice, and this will be a vertice. And then you'll have the center of the ellipse. And then you'll have your 2 points, which you're going to find on the major axis, would be your foci. And it would be this point right here and this point right here. And what's important about these 2 points right here are you can plot a point anywhere on the ellipse, anywhere on the edge. So you can plot this point right here, and you can measure from this point to this other foci down here. And that would be the same as any other point. So you could say this point right here on the ellipse from this foci to this foci, and those points would be equal. And that's how you know that it would be an ellipse. So I went ahead and I've given you a few examples of some ellipses in everyday in some everyday life. And so this is the sign from Mambo's. And so I went ahead and you can see the circle within there. It's a and then within that sign you have the foci. And so let's point out we have the I've outlined the ellipse in green, and then you have your that's your major axis right there. Then you have the minor axis. You have the center. Oh, you have the center right there. It's kind of dark. And then you have on the minor axis you have the you have your 2 intercepts, and then the major axis you have your 2 vertices, and then you have your foci. So that's that one. My next one was from when I went to Mambo. We had a delicious lunch, and this is the shape of the plate is the ellipse in this picture, and I went ahead and plotted some points already for you guys. So we have this is the major axis right here. Then you have the minor axis going through the middle. You have your center, and then you have your vertices on the end. And that's your vertices is going to be where it curves at the outermost point. And so then you have your 2 foci right here, and that's your ellipse. So our next example is a steering wheel, and if you could see, that is a picture of a steering wheel. And so I'm going to turn it sideways so you guys can see. And I've already outlined right here the ellipse right for you guys. And then once again, you have your center on the minor axis. You have your 2 intercepts. You have your 2 vertices and your 2 foci. And this is of the Diet Coke. And I like this because, like I said, you can find these every day, and in everyday life, everywhere you look, you can find them. So it was really cool project. And so right here I've outlined the inside of this the O in a Diet Coke, and then once again I've plotted some points for you already. You have your major axis, your minor axis, your on the minor axis, you're always going to find the intercepts, which is your 2 intercepts. On the major axis, you're going to have your vertices, which is at the ends right here, and then your center and your 2 foci. And here is the last one. I found this beautiful leaf, almost perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and outline the ellipse for you. And there you are. And then, so it's going to be kind of a rough sketch here. We'll go ahead and do the middle. And that'll be your major axis, because that is the longer line. Your minor axis will be the shorter line. You will find your center. And then on the minor axis, you'll have your two intercepts. And on the major axis, you'll have your two vertices plus your foci. And once again, the formula to find this, since this would say if this was your x-axis and this was your y-axis, then you could find your foci by adding. So if this were HK, and then you could find that by adding your foci, which would be roughly right here and right here. You could find that by adding H plus or minus C and then K. So that's how you find your foci. And that's these points right here. And so that is all my examples. And I will be transferring to a Georgia school to study programming and then eventually program engineering. Thank you very much.